I had spent the entire morning getting ready. At 72, I no longer rushed the way I used to, but that day my hands still trembled slightly as I fastened the small gold buttons on my navy blue shawl. In the mirror, I saw an old woman with silver hair neatly pinned back, soft lines around her eyes, and a smile that carried both love and worry. Today was my grandson Ion's 7th birthday. I had bought his gift weeks ago, a remote control car, the one he had pointed at in the toy store with wide, shining eyes and said, "Daddy, one day I will have this and race it with my friends." I wrapped it in bright paper with balloons and stars, then tied a red ribbon around it myself. Inside my purse was a small envelope with some money for him, because in our family, you never come to a child's birthday empty-handed. The party was at a fancy banquet hall across town. My son Rashid had married into a wealthy family, and his wife, Nita, loved grand celebrations. Balloons, clowns, photographers, a huge cake shaped like a football stadium. It was all far beyond the simple birthdays we used to have at home with homemade kheer and a few candles. Still, Ayan was my blood, my heart, the boy who used to climb into my lap and fall asleep while I told him stories of brave princes and clever sparrows. The one who called me every week just to say, "Daddy, I miss you." So I dressed carefully, said a quiet prayer, and left early. When my rickshaw stopped in front of the hall, I could already hear children laughing and music playing. A large banner hung above the entrance. "Happy 7th birthday, AYAN." My chest filled with warmth. I adjusted my shawl, picked up the wrapped gift, and walked toward the glass doors. That was when a young woman in a black uniform stepped in front of me. "Excuse me, madam," she said politely but firmly. "May I see your invitation?" I blinked, surprised. "Invitation? I am his grandmother. I've come for my grandson's birthday." She looked down at the clipboard in her hands. "Name, please." I told her. Her finger moved slowly down the list, then she frowned. "I'm sorry," she said, "your name is not on the list." For a moment I thought I had misheard. "What?" I asked softly. "You're not on the guest list, madam," she repeated. "I can't let you in without confirmation from the host." The word host stung more than it should have. Host. As if I were a stranger, not the woman who had carried Ion's father for 9 months, raised him, prayed for him, and now loved his child with the same fierce devotion. "There must be a mistake," I said. "My son is inside, my daughter-in-law is the one hosting, please call them." The hostess hesitated, then nodded and picked up her phone. She spoke quietly, then listened. Her expression changed, became stiff. She looked at me again. "Madam, I've been told you are not on the list." Not on the list. The words felt like a slap. People were walking past me into the hall, children in party hats, parents carrying gifts, laughter floating in the air. And there I stood, an old woman with a wrapped present in her hands, being told she didn't belong. My throat tightened. "May I speak to my son?" I asked. The hostess shook her head. "I'm sorry, the instructions are clear." I stood there in silence for a few seconds, trying to understand. Then a memory flashed in my mind, the last time I had visited Rashid and Nita's house. A small disagreement about how often they brought Ayan to see me. Nita had smiled politely, but her eyes had been cold. "Children need structure," she had said. "Too many visits confuse them." I had said nothing, but inside my heart had ached. Was this her doing? I took a deep breath and said, "Please, I will wait here. My grandson will come out at some point. He will want to see me." The hostess looked uncomfortable but said nothing. So I waited. Minutes passed, then more. The music inside grew louder. I could hear the birthday song being sung. "Happy birthday to you," followed by cheers and clapping. Tears burned my eyes. I imagined Ayan blowing out his candles, looking around for me, maybe wondering why Daddy wasn't there yet. I sat down on a chair near the entrance, my gift still in my lap. That was when I heard a familiar voice. "Daddy." I looked up. Ayan was standing a few steps away, still wearing a paper crown, his face smeared with a little chocolate frosting. His eyes were wide with surprise and then joy. "Daddy, you came." Before the hostess could stop him, he ran to me and hugged me tightly. I held him, my heart swelling and breaking at the same time. "Of course I came, John, it's your birthday." He pulled back and looked at me. "Then why are you sitting here? The cake is inside. Mama said the party is for everyone." I glanced at the hostess. She looked flustered. Ayan, I said gently, they said I am not on the list. His little forehead wrinkled. What list? The guest list, the hostess said, trying to sound calm. Ayan turned to her, his voice suddenly strong for such a small boy. She is my daddy, she has to be on the list, she is the most important. People nearby began to watch. The murmur of the crowd inside drifted toward us. Just then, Rashid came out, phone in hand, looking irritated. What's going on? Why is everyone staring? Ayan ran to him. Papa, they are not letting Daddy come inside. They say she's not invited. Rashid froze. He looked at me, really looked at me. At my tired eyes, at the gift in my hands, at the way I was trying to smile so I wouldn't cry. What do you mean, not invited? He asked the hostess. She hesitated. Sir, the list provided by the hostess of the event, your wife, does not include this name. We were instructed to only allow those on the list. Silence fell between us. Rashid's jaw tightened. My mother doesn't need to be on any list, he said. This is her grandson's party. At that moment, Nita appeared at the door. Perfect hair, perfect makeup, a forced smile on her lips. What's the problem? She asked. Rashid turned to her. Why is my mother not on the guest list? Nita's smile faltered for just a second. Then she said, Oh, I assumed she wouldn't be able to come. These big events are tiring for her. I didn't want to trouble her. Her words were sweet, but her eyes avoided mine. I stood up slowly. You did not want to trouble me, I repeated softly, so you decided for me that I should not be here on my grandson's birthday. Ayan clutched my hand. Mama, Daddy has to come, I want her to see my cake. The crowd had grown, whispers filled the air. Rashid looked from his son to his wife, then to me. His voice was low but firm. You should have asked, not decided. Nita's face flushed. It's just your mother and I have had differences. I wanted today to be peaceful. And you thought excluding her would bring peace? He asked. I felt something shift in that moment, not anger, something heavier, a realization. I had stayed silent for too long in the name of not creating problems. I had accepted being pushed aside, visits shortened, calls delayed. I had told myself, at least I can see my grandson sometimes. But now, being stopped at the door like a stranger, I understood how far that silence had taken me. I straightened my back. I am not here to fight, I said quietly. I am here because I love my grandson. If my presence causes discomfort, I can leave, but do not tell a child that his grandmother is not welcome. Ayan's eyes filled with tears. Daddy, don't go. Rashid put a hand on my shoulder. You are not going anywhere, he said. He turned to the hostess. Please open the doors. She did immediately. Rashid then looked at Nita. We will talk later. Today is our son's day, and his grandmother will be part of it. We walked inside together, Ayan holding one hand, Rashid the other. The hall was bright with lights and decorations. The cake stood in the center, half-cut, candles melted. Children stared at us as we passed. Ayan proudly announced, This is my daddy, she tells the best stories. Someone clapped, then another. Soon, the awkward tension melted into warm smiles. I sat beside Ayan as he showed me his gifts, his drawings, the magician's tricks. He fed me a piece of cake with his own hands, laughing when frosting got on my nose. Nita stayed quiet, watching from a distance. Later, when the party was almost over, she came to me. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said, her voice softer now. I just felt you judged me sometimes. I felt you interfered. I looked at her. Maybe I did without realizing, but love can sound like interference when it is not understood. Still, no matter our differences, Ayan should never be in the middle. She nodded slowly. That day did not magically fix everything, but it drew a line that had long been needed. I was no longer the invisible grandmother, the optional guest. I was family. And as Ayan hugged me goodbye and whispered, Daddy, this was the best birthday because you were here, I knew one thing for sure. No list in the world could ever decide my place in my grandson's life again.